You are holding on to the one thing that is breaking you, and I need you to hear that today. Not tomorrow, not when you are ready. Today. Because you have been holding on for a long time now, and every day that you hold on is another day the breaking continues. And I love you too much to watch that continue without speaking directly into it. I want to start by asking you something. Why are you still holding on? Not accusingly, genuinely. Because the answer to that question matters. It matters more than you might realize. Because the reason you are holding on is not weakness, it is not stupidity, it is not a character flaw, it is something much more human than any of those things. And before I ask you to let go, I want to understand with you why the holding on has lasted this long. For some of you, you are holding on because letting go feels like losing. Like the moment you release it, something is gone forever. And the fear of that permanent loss is more overwhelming than the ongoing pain of the holding. So you hold on, not because the holding is good, but because the letting go feels like giving something up that you will never get back. For some of you, you are holding on because you have defined yourself by it. The thing you are holding, the relationship, the identity, the version of yourself, the hope for a specific outcome, has become so woven into who you are that the idea of releasing it raises the terrifying question of who you are without it. And that question feels too large to sit with. So you hold on instead, even when the holding is costing you everything. For some of you, you are holding on because you still believe, despite the evidence, despite what your body is telling you, despite what the people who love you have been carefully trying to say, that it might still work out. That if you just hold on a little longer, if you just try one more time, if you just give it one more chance, something will change. The outcome you have been hoping for will finally arrive, and letting go before that happens feels like giving up too soon. I want to speak to all of those reasons today, with honesty, with love, and with the full knowledge of what the continuing to hold on is actually doing to you. The thing you are holding on to is breaking you, my child, not slowly damaging you, breaking you. There is a difference. Damage accumulates and can often be repaired. Breaking is something more fundamental. It goes to the structure, to the foundation, to the parts of you that hold everything else together. I can see what the holding on has been doing at the structural level, and I need you to understand what I see. It is breaking your hope, not the surface hope. You may still be able to generate optimism on good days. I mean the deep hope, the settled, underneath everything confidence that things can be genuinely good. That real joy is available, that the future holds something worth moving toward. That hope has been eroding. Every time the thing you are holding on to disappoints again, every time you extend more of yourself and receive less back, every time you reach toward the outcome you have been hoping for and find it still not there, something chips away at the deep hope. And the deep hope is not infinitely renewable. It is sustained by what you put your faith in. And what you have been putting your faith in has not been sustaining it. It is breaking your capacity for present joy. The holding on requires so much of your attention, so much of your mental and emotional energy, that the present moment is constantly being robbed. You are here, but you are not here. Your body is in the room, but your mind and heart are in the thing you are holding, and the life that is actually happening around you, the people who are present, the moments that are available, the goodness that exists right now. You are missing most of it. Because the holding on takes everything. It is breaking your sense of self, the person you were before you started holding on to this thing. Do you remember that person? The version of yourself that was not organized around this. I want you to think about that version for a moment. The energy levels, the clarity, the ability to be present, the lightness that came from not carrying what you are now carrying. The parts of yourself that had room to exist because this thing had not yet crowded them out. That version of you is still in there. But the holding on has been burying it. Layer by layer, day by day, choice by choice to keep holding. The person you actually are has been getting harder to access. And that is one of the most serious forms of breaking that I see. Because when you lose access to yourself, you lose access to everything that makes your life yours. I want to talk about the specific thing you are holding on to. I am not going to name it because you already know what it is. It arrived in your mind the moment I started speaking, but I want to describe the most common categories. Because often, hearing your situation described helps make it real enough to actually address. Some of you are holding on to a relationship that has ended, or that should end. A person who is no longer there, or who is still there but who the relationship with is no longer what it needs to be. You are holding on to who they were, or who you hoped they would become, or the version of the relationship that existed for a season and is now gone. And the holding on to what was or what could have been is preventing you from fully processing what is. Which means it is preventing you from healing, which means it is preventing you from being available for what I want to bring next. Some of you are holding on to an outcome that I have not given you. A dream, a plan, a vision for your life that has not come to pass in the way you expected. In the holding on to that specific outcome, the insistence that things must go this way or not at all, has closed you off to the alternative ways I have been trying to bring you good things. You are holding the door shut on what I am actually offering because you cannot release the door you wanted me to open. Some of you are holding on to an identity that no longer fits, a version of yourself defined by what you used to be able to do, who you used to be in a relationship, what your life used to look like, and the refusal to release that identity, to grieve it, to acknowledge that this season of your life is genuinely different, is keeping you stuck in a posture of loss, rather than moving you into a posture. Some of you are holding on to an offense, something that was done to you or said to you or taken from you that you have not been able to release. And the holding on to that offense, carrying it, reviewing it, maintaining the injury of it, has become a form of control. The last control available in a situation where you had none, and releasing it feels like losing that control. Losing the right to the injustice being acknowledged. My child, whatever it is, whatever you have been holding, I see the full picture of it. The reasons behind the holding, the cost of the holding, and what is available on the other side of releasing it. And I need to tell you clearly today, the holding on is breaking you more than the letting go will. I know that feels backwards. The letting go feels like the breaking. It feels like the moment of loss, the moment of collapse, the moment where the thing you have been holding is finally gone, and the reality of that is too much. The holding on has felt like the thing keeping you together. But, my child, it is not keeping you together. It is slowly, consistently, at great cost, taking you apart. And the moment of letting go, the moment that feels like it will be the most painful, is actually the first moment of healing. Because you cannot heal what you are still holding, and you cannot move forward while your hands and your heart are fully occupied with what you are refusing to release. I want to talk about what letting go actually is, because I think you may have a distorted picture of it. Letting go does not mean it did not matter. It does not mean you are pretending it was not real, or that the pain was not real, or that the loss was not genuine. It does not mean you are giving permission for what was wrong to be considered right. It does not mean you stop caring. I am not asking you to bypass that grief. I am asking you to grieve it with me instead of carrying the thing to avoid the grief. Because the grief that is felt, really felt in my presence, with my help, moves through. It does not stay forever. It does its work and it moves through, and on the other side of it is something I do not think you have allowed yourself to imagine, because imagining it has felt like betraying the thing you're holding. On the other side of the grief is space. Real space. In your heart, in your mind, in your life. Space that has been occupied by the holding for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to have it. Space for the things I have been wanting to bring, the people, the experiences, the version of yourself that the holding has been preventing, the connection with me that the holding has been crowding out. I want that space for you, and the only way to create it is to release what has been filling it. Let go, my child, today. Not perfectly, not all at once if it is something that requires process, but genuinely, with a real decision that the holding ends, that you are placing this in my hands, that you are trusting me with what you release. I will be there the moment you open your hands, ready to receive what you have been holding, ready to grieve it with you, ready to begin filling the space with something better. You were not designed to hold this forever, and you do not have to. Let go. I love you. I have you. And I am not going anywhere. Always. Without end. My child, I am still here. I told you that you are holding on to the one thing that is breaking you, and I want to stay with you a little longer, because letting go is not just a decision. It is a process, and I want to walk through that process with you today in more detail than I have so far. Because here is the truth about letting go that most people discover only after they try. It is not a single moment. It is a series of moments, a series of choices, a series of returns to the decision when the pull of the old holding comes back, as it will, and you have to choose again. I want to prepare you for that, not to discourage you, but so that when the returning pull comes and you feel like you have failed at the letting go, you understand that the pull coming back does not mean you did not let go. It means you are human, and humans let go, and then feel the pull and have to choose again. That is not failure. That is the process. I want to talk about the first few days after you let go, because those days are often the hardest. Harder sometimes than the decision itself. The thing you have been holding creates a kind of gravity, a pull that does not immediately disappear when you decide to release it. It has organized your thoughts, your habits, your emotional patterns for however long you have been holding, and habits of thought and feeling do not instantly restructure themselves just because a decision has been made. So in the first days, you will probably feel the absence acutely. The thing will surface in your mind constantly, not because you are still holding it, but because your mind has been trained to return to it. The grooves have been worn deep, and the mind follows the grooves even when you have decided to go a different way. This is normal. I need you to know that. The feeling of the absence, the pull to pick it back up, the moments where the grief hits unexpectedly and harder than you anticipated. These are not signs that you made the wrong decision. They are signs that the thing was real enough to leave a mark when it goes. And marks are not permanent. They heal. I want to speak to what you do with the pull when it comes, because you will need a response. And the response cannot be white-knuckling. It cannot be simply trying harder to not feel the pull. That is a battle you will lose more often than you win. And losing it will produce guilt and shame on top of the already present grief. The response is this. When the pull comes, come to me. Not instead of feeling it, with it. Bring the pull to me. Say, I am feeling it again. The pull to pick it back up. The grief of the letting go. The part of me that is not sure the letting go was right. All of it. Bring it here. Let me be the place you run to when the pull comes, rather than the thing you ran to before. Every time you do that, every time you feel the pull and choose to come to me with it rather than returning to the thing, something shifts. Not dramatically, not all at once, but something. The groove for the old pattern gets slightly shallower. The groove for coming to me gets slightly deeper, and over time, with consistency, with practice, with grace for the times it does not go perfectly, the balance changes. Coming to me becomes more natural than going back to the thing. That is how the letting go becomes permanent. Not through a single heroic act of willpower, through 1,000 small choices to come to me instead. I want to talk about the people around you during this process, because letting go rarely happens in complete isolation, and the people in your life are going to be part of this journey, whether you involve them intentionally or not. Some of them will notice something has changed before you tell them anything. They will see a difference in you, a lightness or a grief or a reorientation, and they will not know what to make of it. I want to encourage you to let at least one person in, not everyone. Not in a way that feels unsafe, but one person who can know what you are going through, who can ask how the letting go is going, who can be present with you when the pull comes and you need someone human to stand with you in the moment of choosing. Letting go in community is more sustainable than letting go alone. I designed you for connection, and the vulnerability of letting someone see you in the process of this, the imperfect, sometimes struggling, moment-by-moment process. That vulnerability is not weakness. It is the pathway to the kind of support that actually helps. I want to address something that I know is going to surface in the days ahead. The question of whether you made the right decision, whether the letting go was actually what I was asking for, or whether you misunderstood, or whether you let go of something you should have held. The doubt will come. It is almost inevitable, because the mind that has been holding something for a long time will generate reasons to pick it back up. And some of those reasons will sound very reasonable, very spiritual even. Maybe God wants me to keep trying. Maybe I gave up too soon. Maybe what I let go of was actually meant for me and I should go back. I want to speak to that doubt before it arrives. If you release the thing after genuinely bringing it to me, after honestly examining it in my presence and feeling the clarity that this is what needed to happen, then the doubt that comes after is not new revelation. It is the pull wearing the clothing of wisdom. It is the old holding trying to reconstruct itself using the language of discernment. Sit with it carefully. Bring it back to me. But do not let it automatically undo what I led you to do. The decision made in clarity does not get invalidated by the doubt that comes in the discomfort of the aftermath. I want to speak to healing now, because healing is what comes after the letting go. Not immediately, not without the grief, but it comes. And I want you to understand what healing actually looks like so you can recognize it when it begins. Healing does not look like suddenly not caring about the thing you released. It does not look like the absence of pain or grief or the occasional sharp reminder of what you let go. Healing looks like the pain changing from acute and constant to less frequent and less intense. Healing looks like being able to think about the thing without the thought consuming the entire day. Healing looks like the space that opened up when you let go, beginning to fill with new things, new thoughts, new relationships, new possibilities that were not visible while the thing was occupying all the available space. Healing looks like you becoming more yourself again. The parts of you that the holding had buried beginning to surface, the energy that the holding was consuming becoming available for other things, the clarity that the preoccupation had made impossible beginning to return. You will know healing is happening when you go a whole morning without the thing being the first thing in your mind. When a good moment comes and you are actually present in it rather than partially somewhere else. When you think about the future, not the future you wanted when you were holding the thing, but the actual future that is now available. And something in you stirs with something like hope instead of dread. That healing is coming, my child. It is on the other side of the letting go. Not far on the other side, closer than you think. I want to close by telling you something about what I have already prepared for the space the letting go will create. Because I know that part of what makes letting go hard is the fear of emptiness. The fear that releasing the thing will leave a void that nothing fills. A permanent absence where the thing used to be. I want you to know that I have been working on what comes next. I have not been waiting for you to let go before beginning to prepare what fills the space. I have been preparing it while you were still holding on. And some of what I have prepared you will recognize immediately as better, as something you could not have received while you were still holding the thing that was breaking you. Some of what I have prepared will surprise you, things you were not expecting, ways that good enters your life that you would not have predicted, people who arrive, opportunities that open, parts of yourself that emerge, dimensions of your relationship with me that deepen. All of it has been in preparation. All of it is ready. All of it is waiting for your hands to open. Open your hands, my child. The letting go is not the end of something good. It is the beginning of something better. I love you. I am with you in every step of this process, and I am not going to let you navigate it alone. Always, without end.